Okay, so in this video, I'm going to go over some tips on how to successfully complete Lab 3. So you notice I have Lab 3 open up, and this is the Lab 3 template that you can download through Blackboard. And so this is the lab is about power plants and carbon footprint calculations. I suggest that you do download it and take a look at it first before you actually go through the tutorial. So you'll notice here I also have a link to this very tutorial that you're looking at right now. And I can do that because I have magic powers and I can link to the future. Okay, so actually once I'm done with this video, I'm going to link it, but it'll be right there. All right, so I'm not going to read through these questions, so feel free to open up the template and look through them on your own. But this first problem is well, you'll go through a calculation of the output of a power plant at various capacity factors here. Okay, so just a heads up. So you'll notice the power plant capacity doesn't change. The hours in the year aren't going to change. And then the output at 100%, I have you calculate the output at 100% capacity factor first. And then you're going to apply this capacity factor to the power plant. And you're going to tell me, pay attention to the units here, kilowatt hours per year. Okay, and you're going to have to do a little bit of calculating here to figure out how many homes can be supplied, or how many kilowatt hours can be supplied to each of these homes. I strongly suggest that you write out these calculations first before you enter them into Excel. And then, the question here is pretty straightforward. Keep in mind there's a link in here with some really important information. Now this one, you're actually going to calculate the efficiency of various types of power plants. Now these are actually all real data, so when you do this problem, it's really important that you click on this link right here, and that will tell you exactly how to make this calculation. So I've actually given you the numbers here for this coal-fired power plant efficiency. I didn't give you the formulas. You'll notice there's no formula up here. So you have to figure out how to calculate, but if you just read this link carefully, it'll tell you exactly how to do it. And you'll notice these are all real numbers too. These are the actual numbers. And then there's an optional bonus question here about creating a chart. There, you can, since this is a bonus question, I'll try to post a video of how to create a chart. But in the meantime, you can give it a shot, and there are some tutorial videos out there on YouTube. And these are just questions that you're going to ask just to kind of reflect on the data. Okay, so this is your power plant analysis worksheet, and here's your carbon footprint analysis worksheet. Now, see, this first question here is all about calculating the carbon footprint of per person or per capita given various conditions, so different fuel efficiencies and different number of occupants per car. Okay, so this can trip people up a little bit because you have to sort of flip the way you think about unit conversions a little bit, and I'll show you what I mean, because I'll do this sample problem here. So if I get 30 miles a gallon, how many gallons does it take to drive 100 miles? Now you probably can figure out the answer just thinking about it, but let's think about this in terms of a unit conversion, how we'd set it up. So we're used to thinking of 30 miles a gallon as 30 miles is 1 gallon, or 30 miles per gallon. So the problem is if we try to insert a conversion factor here, we run into trouble. So in order to, what are we going to do here? Cancel out miles, so we can do 1 over 100 miles maybe. Now the problem is, if you cancel out miles, you end up with 1 over gallons for your unit, which doesn't make any sense. So as it turns out, what you have to do is 30 miles per gallon is the same thing as saying 1 gallon for 30 miles. So you can just flip it. It doesn't compromise your quantity at all. Okay, now what we can do, you probably guessed, we can insert 100 miles. And what happens now? So now miles are going to cancel out with miles and left with gallons. So if you just do the division there, that's 33.33 gallons. Okay, and there's your answer. So even though the quantity itself is 30 miles a gallon, that's the exact same thing as saying 1 gallon for 30 miles. Okay, so this will help you out with this. All right. And the rest of it you should be able to figure out. You're just going to do, you have gallons per year, and then you need gallons per year per capita or per person, and then um, you need to convert that into a carbon footprint per capita. And in order to do that, you actually need the carbon footprint of gasoline. And so I actually have it down here. So here's your gasoline. So your carbon footprint is 19.37 pounds per gallon. Okay. So this is up here in the description, but so that should help you through that one. So this will be an interesting exercise to see the impact of different fuel efficiencies here and different occupancies and how that actually impacts your carbon footprint per person. So now this one is really straightforward. You'll see you just have to click on this, go to this website, which is linked to here, to fill in these cells, and then actually, this is all described here, but you're gonna have to calculate this one. And I've given you the answer over here in case you have trouble calculating it. Okay, so this is just a reflection question, number 3. Now this question, number 4, is actually gonna help you walk through the carbon footprint of heating a building with different types of fuels, okay? And so it's really pretty straightforward. Just keep in mind that you're going to use these carbon footprints, or you can use these, but I suggest using these carbon footprints to do all these calculations. It's actually pretty straightforward. And so for this one, you're actually going to go to this website, to the Nature Conservancy, and you're actually going to do your own carbon footprint calculation. And so I'm going to click on that link just to kind of show you what it looks like. It's pretty straightforward, but just in case. Okay, so here we go. Here's the website, and you can see there's categories, there's get started, and then, I'd suggest you do this by your household. So there's 4 people in my household, so we'll do this. Click on for my household, right? And so there's just different tabs here. It's going to walk you through energy, driving, food, recycling, and waste, and then it's going to actually give you your results. Okay. Now, what I do suggest, if you can do this, is to take a snapshot of these results once you do them. And so what I do is I have a snipping tool that's in every Microsoft system, operating system, excuse me. So if you just click on this, I love this tool. I use it all the time to make PowerPoints and do other things. So what happens is this snipping tool dialog opens up, and you can just click new, and this is just a screen capture. So you can drag your cursor around whatever you want to drag. So in this case, I'll just do that. Okay, and it actually takes a snapshot here, and you can go to edit, copy, okay, and then it's copied to your clipboard. You can minimize this. Now I'll go back to my Excel, and what I can do is now I can just paste it here, okay, done, and then I can move it around. It's just an image. See, it's just an image I can drag around, and if I want to, I can make it smaller, I can make it bigger, etc. Okay, so that's a really useful tool. I use it all the time, but if you can do that once you get your results, that would be very helpful. And this is pretty straightforward. The last problem, you're actually going to look at the carbon footprint through a little bit of analysis of what it would take to, or how many trees it would take to absorb the carbon footprint from various problems. So this is pretty straightforward. It's just a straight up unit conversion. So you can see that there's 1.22 metric tons of carbon dioxide in 1.22 metric tons. 1 acre can absorb 1.22 metric tons of carbon dioxide. Sorry about that. Okay, so pretty straightforward unit conversion. Now these last 2 rows here, actually, you need to look up the average carbon footprint of a Swiss and a US citizen, and you're going to do a comparison thereof. Okay, it all should be pretty straightforward. And that should be enough to get you through Lab 3.